ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. So we are seeing the divine and the demonic qualities in the 16th chapter, and Bhagwan described 26 verses, 26 qualities in the verses in the beginning, 3 verses, where we saw all divine qualities from Abhayam, etc. Fourth verse, he indicated the demonic qualities, Dambha, Darpa, Abhimana, Krodha, Parushya, etc. And fifth one, he said, Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya. Why should somebody cultivate qualities? We saw the context. See, the context is very important. Otherwise, the values will not make any sense. One will see people around not following it, and one says, why should I also follow? The context is, if I want to liberate my mind, even if I don't want ultimate mukti, I want to liberate my mind from its own self-limiting beliefs, its own negativities, then these values are most important because they give the strength. They harness the mind's potential. They will help the mind to achieve higher and higher things in the world as well as in spiritual life. So when Bhagavan says Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya, moksha is not only ultimate knowledge, which of course it is, but it is also freedom from attachments, freedom from ego, possessiveness, freedom from negative thinking, freedom from self-condemnation, fear, all that which was said earlier, no? Krodha, Parushya, this Dambha, Darpa, Abhimana, each of them pull a person down. They bring sorrow, suffering. So it is freedom from all that. We may underestimate the power of values, or we may think, oh, person who follows values is, bhola bhala, people can take him for a ride or her for a ride. But one doesn't understand that when person is cunning, manipulative, selfish, insecure, that itself is the fall of that person. One's own negativities have taken that person for a ride. Forget anybody else taking it. So, Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya, one should always remember this one line, Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Asuri Mata. These demonic qualities will only bind and bring sorrow, suffering for us, for others. And then Bhagavan assures him that Ma Shucha Sampadam Daivim Abhijatosi Pandava. Don't grieve, Arjun. You are born with divine qualities. Of course, that means past karma also. Now, when he has said this, he further goes on. Sixth one, Bhagavan says, Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura eva cha daivo vistarasha prokta asuram partha me shrunu. Daiva Dvau Bhuta Sargau Lokesmin. In this loka, see, lokas are 14. When we speak of this loka specifically, is Bhuloka. Dvau Bhuta Sargau. In this creation, there are two types of beings. Bhuta literally means beings. So it can mean all plants, birds, animals, humans, Devata, Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, all types of beings. But in that, human being has a special privilege of having buddhi, whereby one can discriminate between what is Daivi and what is Asuri and drop the Asuri and cultivate the Daivi. So Bhagavan says, Dvau Bhuta Sargau Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha. So there is the positive and the negative, the divine and the demonic. Throughout the creation, the pairs of opposites are there. And so in values also, divine values, demonic values, both are there in every jiva. Now please remember, every jiva has positive, negative, divine, demonic mixture. This point is not to justify that okay, everybody has what, how does it matter, it's all right, we take accommodate. Compassion is different. But justifying a weakness, saying everybody has, why are we branding somebody as so bad? That action is bad, no doubt. That thought process is bad, no doubt, if it is demonic, and it will bring the downfall. We don't condemn that person forever. Sanatana Dharma also says that any person who has done whatever level of sin also can transform because the Purushartha is there, especially in human life. But that is not to say that any wrong thing is justified. The human capability is to distinguish clearly between what is demonic and what is divine, and then stick to the divine, because that will lead the person to one's own nature and happiness for oneself and others. If after having got a human birth, one is still living the life of a demon, in the sense following those demonic values, then the person has fallen, and that person will actually go through a lot of sorrow and suffering. Because that demonic qualities will bring sorrow and suffering, whoever it may be. If they have those demonic qualities, it will bring sorrow and suffering. Compared to human being, the plants, birds, animals, they are better off in the sense that they are not creating new negative karma. They are exhausting some past karmas. Human being is exhausting past karmas as well as creating future seed for future karma, future birth. By following good values, the person will move towards sattvic birth and then exit to realize the birthless consciousness. By doing the negative karmas or living the demonic values, even if that person appears to not go through suffering now, one has destroyed one's future. Because those karmas which one has done will bring result. Like somebody says, I don't believe only next life. That itself is a demonic trait. It will come ahead, you see. The point is what? One has got the opportunity as a human being to discriminate very clearly, this is divine, this is demonic, this will liberate me, this will bind me. Why will I want to go through more and more bondage? Because I don't understand or I don't see that negativities are causing bondage. I may see that okay, even people are negative but they are prospering, so then one is running behind it. That's why Shastra is a praman, not behavior of people. Hence Bhagavan says that Dvaubhuta Sargau Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha. The Daiva and Asura both they are there in this Srishti. one should know very clearly what is to be followed as a human being. If one is missing that opportunity, great is a loss. That's what the Upanishad say. Mahati vinashtihi. So if one doesn't understand that clearly and just acts out of one's own whim and fancy, that will bring downfall. Which is why Bhagavan says, Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin. In this loka, especially bhuloka is karma bhumi for human beings. For us, every other loka as well as every other yoni is bhoga bhumi and bhoga yoni. This is karma bhumi and karma yoni, earth, bhuloka, and human body. And so if Bhagwan is giving all this knowledge, why? So that human being can discriminate clearly, ki, okay, this is divine and I should follow this. See, if you see Ravan, now when we ask Ravan, how is he a Rakshas? In his example, we find that he is in the kula of one of the Sapta Rishis, Pulastya Rishi, Vishrava, and to Vishrava Ravan is born. To Vishrava and Kaikasi, to them Ravan is born. Sapta Rishi. But look at his karma. The mother, Kaikasi, is Sumali's daughter, who is a Rakshas. So one may say, okay, we had mother maternal side Rakshas. Hiranyakashipu, if you take the example, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they are children of whom? Kashyap Rishi and Diti. So they are supposed to be Rishi Putras only. But their karma has pulled them down so badly. And Diti acted out of lust. And so Kashyap Rishi also said those who will be born, these two will be having asuric qualities. But Bhagwan will be taking form to destroy them and then they will get liberation. So they are born divine only, but they have a backstory as well as they are karma wise they are doing wrong. So one may be born as a human in whichever place, whichever situation because of the past karma, but today one has the free will which will create one's future, which is why Bhagavan says that one should become very clear. So he has described the divine, Daivo Vistarasha Proktaha. Already he has given the description of the divine elaborately. In this chapter itself he gave. Before that also, Sthita Prajna Lakshan, Karma Yogi Lakshan, Bhakta Lakshan, Gunatita Lakshan, Sannyasi Lakshan, everywhere he has given. So he says, I have elaborately explained. Daivo Vistarasha Proktaha. Asuram Partha Me Shrunu. This description now comes of all the Asuri Sampadas. Now a long description will come. What we should remember is this. This is for us to introspect and refine our mind, because the combination is there. The more we cultivate the divine, the more will be the strength of the mind, more will be the single pointed resolve, and more will be the ability to realize happiness and consciousness of our nature. It is not possible to carry these together, that one will be demonic, very selfish, egoistic, as well as experience supreme peace and spiritual enlightenment. It cannot happen, no matter how much one tries. It won't work because eligibility is only not there. So now that description comes, and now this description that is coming is for us to refine. See, in the second chapter itself, Bhagavan said that Kamatmana Swarga Paraha. Those who are full of desires, who think Swarga is the supreme, they hanker after that and they fall, and their mind will not have that ability to uh, be resolute and single pointed. Bahushakha yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam, Bhagavan said. Kamatmana swargaparat kriya vishesha bahulam janma karma phala pradam. All that was also said in 9th chapter, 2nd chapter. They go to Swargaloka also. Te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. Divine enjoyments also they hanker after they enjoy. Then what happens? Shine punya martya lokam vishanti. When the punya is over, again they come back here. So the mind which is filled with only lower tendencies will not have the ability to stay focused in spiritual path. And that's why spiritual path is not for the weak. People think that those who are dejected, depressed, despondent, failures, they run away, they become spiritual. One can't become spiritual like that. You know, Gurudev said very nicely, spirituality is neither the privilege of the poor nor the luxury of the rich. It is the choice of a wise man. Very nice, no? It's not the privilege of the poor nor the luxury of the rich. It is the choice of a wise man. Wise way to live is to anchor in spiritual values, is to be clear about the goal, is to know who am I, is to realize happiness, is to go beyond cycle of birth and death by destroying avidya. That is spiritual life, that is the choice of a wise person. So now that description comes is what he had given already earlier, the dambha, tarpa, abhimana, krodha, parushya. There he hinted, Bhagavan hinted. Means it's like drawing outline. Now he is filling the color, doing the detailing. Elaborately it will come here. This is not to brand anybody, this is not to condemn anybody, this is not to label anybody. This is for us to introspect and identify and come out of these and hold on to the divine. Now see the 7th one. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham chapi chacharaha asatyam teshu vidyate. So Bhagavan says, pravritti and nivritti. These people don't know. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janaha na viduhu. Asuraha janaha na viduhu. These demonic people, they don't know what is pravritti and what is nivritti. Na shaucham, there is no importance that they give to purity. Na apicha acharaha. They don't give any importance to good conduct. Na satyam teshu vidyate. They are not even truthful. So what does this mean now? Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. So literally pravritti means engagement, nivritti means disengagement. But here pravritti means what? Efforts to cultivate good values is called pravritti, and nivritti is the ability to drop the negative. They don't know only what to cultivate and what to drop. They do exact opposite. What is to be dropped, they will hold on to. What is to be cultivated, they will leave. In general, pravritti means activity and nivritti means withdrawal or renunciation. So we say first 50 years pravritti marg, next 50 years nivritti marg. So brahmacharya ashram, grahastha ashram, pravritti marg, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram, nivritti marg. See, those who are very attached to sense enjoyment, to the body, to wealth, power, name, fame, progeny, prosperity, all that, they won't be able to do the pravritti also properly with karma yoga attitude, and at the right time when it has to be dropped, they won't be able to drop that also. So that one meaning one can take, but that is not asurik, that is out of attachment. Here asuri is they will do exact opposite, and they will hurt, harm themselves and others. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na viduhu. If you read Shankaracharyaji's commentary on this shloka, he has defined this pravritti very nicely, where he says this. See, he says that pravrittim cha pravartanam yasmin purushartha sadhane kartavye pravrittihi tam. Meaning the effort that one has to put to cultivate human values, to cultivate the divine qualities. And nivritti is what? Etad viparitam yasmat anartha hetoho nivartitavyam sa nivrittihi. And nivritti is what? Exact opposite, turning away from all the negativities. Even in nivritti marg, what are we dropping? Ignorance, attachment, we will drop. How? Having cultivated devotion for Bhagavan, having done work with Seva Bhav, Karma Yoga attitude, one gets out of Karma Bandhan. One has done enough and more the duties for Ishwar Arpitam na Ichchaya Kritam. So one has attained Vairagya, one has attained Bhakti, and one says, I have done. Now I turn towards the divine, I let go of my ego. That is pravritti and nivritti. As a human being, that's how one has to live. That if I live 50 years, 50 years is not some license to eat, drink, be merry and do anything one likes, somehow, anyhow live. No need of following any values. Khao, piyo, mauj karo. 4 din ki chandni. Who has seen? Next life. 4 din ki chandni, baad andheri raat. People say like that, you know. So who has seen previous life, next life? Eat, drink, be merry, bas, maja karo. Don't bother about anybody. Don't follow any values, morals, ethics. No, what God, which God, all that will come now. That is not pravritti. Pravritti marg is to do dharmic engagement of purushartha, which is dharma and artha and kama. One is duty bound. That's why in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavan says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Arjun, stick to only the niyata karma, obligatory duty, which is nitya karma, naimittik karma. Reduce kamya karma and completely drop nishiddha karma. That is karma yoga. That is pravritti. That I do my duty towards a family, towards society, towards the company where I am working, or whatever I have started, and do it with a dedication to Bhagavan, that this is only to exhaust my past karma. I am in this role, but my goal is to know the truth. That is pravritti. Where rajoguna will get exhausted, that is pravritti. Where one feels enough, I have done, now I need to sit quietly, turn within, realize the truth. Not that more and more extrovertedness as age increases. That is, then one has not done pravritti marg properly. And nivritti is then to withdraw slowly, slowly, slowly. That's a general meaning of pravritti and nivritti. In this context, Shankaracharya is saying even that basic human values one is not able to follow. The effort must be to live these divine values. That also one doesn't know. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na viduhu asuraha. They are the asuras. See, the description of asura is like that. Asura is not described as having some fat body and some horns and some red tongue, and that's not the description. Qualities are given. Who is an asura? One who gets so attached to the sense enjoyments, who doesn't follow dharma, who does not know what to engage and what to disengage from. Negativities, anger, greed, jealousy, lust, passion, all that one is holding on to, which one should actually drop. And what one should actually cultivate, all that abhayam, sattva, samshuddhi, all divine qualities, one is not bothered. That is asura. Today also we find that, or not, it happens. So many people, they will say values, you can't live values in today's life. So compromise. What is an asatyam? Nasatyam teshu vidyate. Where the internal value is also not there, then how will one live externally? So pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na viduhu. And they will justify any behavior in the name of being open, liberal, or modern, progressive. No doubt one can change through as the time changes, but certain core principles remain eternal. That one is compromising on. So first thing Bhagavan says, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana viduhu. They are asuras. Then na shaucham. There is no purity. In the sense, some of them physically also won't keep the body pure, the speech pure. Any slang words they will use, any abusive language they will use, and they take pride in that. This is such a powerful, faculty given to us by Bhagavan. Vak Siddhi one can have. What one says will come true if one develops that Vak Siddhi through Vak Tapas. 17th chapter will describe what is that Vak Tapas. It's not so difficult. One should say the truth. One should speak words which are unagitating. Anudvegakaram Vakyam. Unagitating words. Satyam Priyahitam. Speak words which are truthful, which are kind, loving, and for benefit. Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Chaiva. Through Swadhyaya, study of the scriptures and study of one's own mind, and Abhyas of single pointedness. Abhyasa means japa. Single pointedness. Any form of upasana. Purify the speech through name of Bhagavan. Through chanting, through reading, parayan, doing parayan, all that, abhyasanam. If one does vak tapas, what one says will come true. Not only that, that is the best way to do, na? The best way to use this faculty. Because what is the point of abusing this? Any abusive words one uses and thinks one is very cool. At one phase in one's life, in one's immaturity, one may go through that and one may feel at some children, teenager, even at that time, if one is made aware, then one can better utilize the speech. But sometimes one goes through all that, but one has to get out of it. We are seeing elder people talking any abusive language. What will the other people learn? Children and youngsters, they will also use that. Such and refinement of language, purity of senses, no purity at all. If you see the Gita chariot, the 5 horses, many places they have 5, actually supposed to be 4. White they are. In the first chapter itself it came, Tata Shveter Hayer Yukte Mahatis Chandane Sthitau Madhava Pandavas Chaiva Divyav Shankhav Pradhatmatuhu. When Bhagavan brings that chariot of Arjun, it is white horses. Those horses are senses. Why are they white? Representing purity of mind, a purity of the senses. Eyes, how much lust is there in the eyes? When people are looking at the opposite gender, lusty eyes, greedy eyes. Food, what type of food one is eating, what kind of touch one is engaging in, with what all intent, what speech one is doing, engaging with. There are so many of these. All the 10 senses, how one is using. If purity of senses is not there, purity of mind is far away. All our Shanti mantras are first praying for that. Bhadram karne vishrunuyama devaha, bhadram pashe makshabhirya jatraha. May we hear auspicious, may we see auspicious. Here, nothing. Take pride in seeing more inauspicious things, vulgar things, violent things, gory things. No shaucham. No purity at body level, not taking bath for many days also. Not maintaining cleanliness in the room, about oneself, about the clothes one is wearing, the things one is having, the work desk one is working on. No shaucham. Physically, speech wise, mentally, though, no, purity is not even valued. Pure thoughts, one thinks people are dumb who follow purity in mind. And then easiest excuse one gives is we are in Kali Yuga, Swamiji. Kali Yuga, so this is what will happen. All excuses. So many Mahatmas have lived and even today are living who are able to follow. And even if one is not able to follow, it's not like 100% like one cannot follow. 90, 80, 70%, whatever one can follow, one should first follow. But that one doesn't want to do. Purity in one sort, the closest relationships, there is no purity. Forget with anybody else. The level of ego, selfishness, control, domination, possessiveness, attachment, bapre. So, no shaucham, no picha achara, no good conduct. Are we not seeing how much domestic violence happens and how much toxic relationships and abuse and whatnot goes on? Why? Because karma is the main. Ego, selfishness, and enjoyment, that is the main goal. And anybody comes between that, do anything to them. So, na shaucham, na picha acharah, na satyam teshu vidyate. They don't value truthfulness also. No, the mind will say, no, truthfulness can't be applied. Today's world. And the same person wants the nearest relative to be truthful. And then say truthfulness has no value. Meaning you don't want to follow that, but you want everybody else to follow and be truthful to you. Wow. That is hypocrisy. But the mind which is not following values, now which wants to give petty, flimsy excuses, will do this only. That's why it is asuric. Again, I am saying, even a very dharmic person, because of whatever vasanas, karma, one may fall if one is not alert. Little bit of bad company, Manthra's company, and Kaikei fell or not. That's just one example. Like that, so many examples. That how people fall. She loved Bhagwan Ram like anything, and she's telling Manthra also. When Manthra is telling her about Ramji, his coronation, and she is so upset, Kaikei is actually giving her good counsel, saying, Arey, you don't know Ram, he is so glorious. And if he becomes the prince and he rules the king as a king in future, that is the best thing to happen. All that she's saying. But little bit this Sangha mind fell. That's why in Narad Bhakti Sutra, Naradji says, Dussanga sarvatha eva tyajya. You drop negative company, bad company, drop. It doesn't mean only outside, it means inside also. Negative thoughts in my mind, whatever I'm taking sense inputs, that will create my thought. Now that will play on the mind. Then one will fall. So, Satyam, truthfulness is a great strength. When it is said in the Upanishad, Satyameva Jayate na Anrutam, it is a fact. Truth brings trust, truth brings strength, truth brings fearlessness, truth brings credibility, everything. Peace of mind, truth will bring all that. And with it will come all the other divine qualities. So anyway, here he says, Na Satyam Teshu Vidyate. They don't follow truthfulness. They take pride in cheating, cunning, manipulativeness, and they think that is a smart way to live. And are there not people who are training the children to be like that? How many people actually value purity and want the children to develop purity of mind? Again, please remember, purity of mind doesn't mean that a person is dumb. Sattva guna is not dumbness. Sattva guna is highest level of alertness. Purity and alertness go together. Purity and sharp mind and subtle intellect go together. If there is some attachment that will make that purity appear as though it is the fault of purity, but there's a fault of attachment. Some attachment only brings us down. That is Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Laziness, lethargy, indulgence, procrastination, Tamoguna. Attachment, greed, insecurity, all that will pull the person down. It's not a problem of purity. Purity of mind. Arjun got the knowledge because of purity of mind. Whatever level of purity he had made him surrender to Bhagavan. Duryodhan did not surrender to Drona, and Dhritarashtra did not surrender to Sanjay. They could not find their answers. They couldn't find solution. They went through destruction only. Arjun found. So the point is, purity is very, very crucial. If there is one thing that one should value in one's life, it is purity of mind. Money and all that comes and goes. For that, if I am compromising with values in my mind, I have lost big time. Lakshmi ji also will stay only there properly where? At the feet of Bhagavan Vishnu, and Vishnu Bhagavan is symbol of purity. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam, when we say white is symbol of purity. Bhagavan Vishnu is the sustainer. Sustenance cannot happen without purity of mind. Anywhere, big businesses one may create, but if ethics, governance, values are not there, it will fall. Reputation will go for a toss. One can't keep sustaining a negative behavior for long. It will create more and more tension, difficulty, stress, worry, anxiety. Person will be not happy. But when purity is there, good intent is there, one is able to follow values, then there is a certain level of inner strength. And that is what sustains. You see the research that is done. I don't remember the organization which did. They did research on the world's longest standing institutions. They found spiritual organizations are the ones which are longest standing institutions. Second is army. One reason which they found common in both is where they encourage people to think beyond themselves, to think of a higher purpose, to get out of ego. Then purity will also come. No doubt, even here there will be chances of minds which are impure and fall. All that can happen. But point is, purity is very, very crucial. That's the only thing which we will take with us is our quality of our mind and our karma bag. Everything else remains here only. So if Satyam is not there, purity is not there, Achara is not there, then I came as a human instead of living as a human and evolving to realize the divine. I felt from that human level. If I can't follow human values, then what kind of a human I am? Then Bhagavan says, okay, if you live animalistically, then your karmas deserve you an animal yoni, go there. Or any other yoni, go. In fact, he will say ahead, Shipami ajasram ashubhan lokan asurishu eva yonishu. Naradhaman, he uses a word there. In 16th chapter only, later it will come. Naradhaman, worst of human beings these people are. It's not that Bhagavan is cursing them. He's saying their actions will lead them to those yonis because they live like that. So, na satyam, na chapi chacharaha, napi chacharaha, na satyam teshu vidyate, na shaucham. Now, he goes on further. असत्यमप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम्. Asatyam, they think that this world is founded on what? Falsehood. Cheat, loot, plunder, do anything. You make money. Enjoy. That's all is the purpose of life. Asatyam, apratishtham, no moral basis. There is no truth, there is no moral basis. Morality and all is construct of human being created to control people. Otherwise, what morality? Who created all these laws? Human being only has created. That's what the argument materialist will give. Who said there is previous life? Who said there is next life? All these human beings has created all this just to control, create fear in the society and dominate. This is one form of domination over people, control over their minds, using fear psychology. Otherwise, what? So they'll talk like that. Asatyam, apratishtham. In fact, one takes pride in breaking rules. Why should I follow any rule? Who created this? Who is somebody to tell my life, my rules? I will follow that. Who are scriptures to tell me anything? Who is government to tell me anything? Who are my elders? Who are parents? I care a damn. It is my life. I will live the way I want to live. Okay, then face the consequence when it comes. That time don't ask why it is to me. So, asatyam, apratishtham, no laws, no morality, nothing. And Jagadahur Anishwaram, there is no God at all. Which God? Who has seen God? There is no God. It is all creation of human being. There is no God. There is only science. And science believes in material, what I see. So what I see, I will believe. What I don't see, I will not believe. There is no God. Which means there is no need to follow dharma. Religion is useless. It is all superstition, bundle of, old outdated rites, rituals meant for exploitation. And I don't want to do anything with these religions. And how does one live? Then from where this whole Srishti came? Aparaspara sambhutam. By mutual union of men and women, this recreation has come about. Meaning the two genders, whatever the male and the female, through that union in all species, not only human beings, it has come about by that only. Aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. Lust is the cause for it. What else? Why did creation happen? Because the species engaged in procreation, so creation happened. Bas, what is the big deal? To find out what is the purpose of creation and who is the creator and why are you assuming all this? So they'll talk like that. And the thinking is like that. So when there is no God, there is no higher power, things are happening on their own. They are product, each of us a product of what? Accident or some kind of mutual union. What is the purpose? Lust, enjoyment. Kimanyat kama hitukam. So what is the cause of this world? Kama. What is the purpose of human life? Kama. I should enjoy. But why only enjoyment? Because that's the source. Everything we do is for enjoyment. Hard work to earn money. Why? Enjoy. Just enjoy. See, it's not that one should not enjoy in life, but that's the purpose. One has made that as the purpose. Karma is the purpose. Artha is also for karma. Dharma one compromises for karma. And moksha, there's nothing called moksha anyway. So karma is the maximum. Enjoy. And in that there is no need of any morality, control, anything, anywhere, anyhow, with anybody. Enjoy as much as you can. Why? That's the materialistic outlook, no? The mindset is what? ऋणं कृत्वा घृतं पिबेत भस्मीभूतस्य देहस्य पुनरागमनं कुतः. Take that, drink ghee, enjoy your life. This body which becomes ashes, who has seen its return? So which morality? So many people are not getting the result of their karma. They are escaping. And next life, we'll see next life. Don't worry so much. This life, enjoy. So that is this. Kimanyat kama hitukam. There is nothing bigger in this. Deeper purpose of life and evolution and morality and purity of mind and realization of consciousness, all that is humbug. Is all not true. Created by some people who were hallucinating, and then they wrote down the scripture, and now everybody is following that. This is not this is not scientific. So one will say all this. And basic purpose is what? Aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. See, if you read Gurudev's commentary in this, he has written there, while explaining this, na kimanyat kama hetukam, that's where he has written, the entire universe of beings and things is formed only as a result of mutual combinations of the great elements. The material mind will say what? How you combine pan, green color, betel leaf, brown color, areca nut, supari, and white color, lime or chuna. You combine these three and eat, red color will be formed. Like that, 5 elements are getting combined. Consciousness is a product of these 5 elements. There is no other consciousness except this, what is there inside this, and when this body dies, it is gone with that. So he says there is a combination of great elements, and the sole ruling factor that determines creation is chance. Matlab no logic, no karma, no cause, effect, nothing. It's chance. And the only deciding urge propelled by which beings are born is nothing but lust. Even modern psychologists insist that the sex urge alone is the mother urge because of which everything is happening, every achievement is gained, and every profit is made everywhere in life. Now see this. It is one part of life, no doubt, but it can't be whole life. But this is what the materialistic will think. Materialist will think. And what about Bhagwan? If there be no substratum, at least is there a commanding intelligence that orders, regulates, determines, generally guides happenings in the world? According to the materialist, there is no such director of events, no architect of happenings, there is no creator, no sustainer. It is going on apne aap, by chance only. So this is the thinking. एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः. एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य. If this is having, entertained this type of a thought process, holding this type of a view, nashta atmanah, they have destroyed themselves, meaning that there is a truth within them, that their nature is Atma, that there is a spirit which is different from this matter, and that is indestructible, unborn, unchanging consciousness. No awareness of that. In the Upanishad, such people are called asuras actually. And they fall into the lower realms, is what Ishavasya Upanishad says. Asurya namate lokaha andhena tamasavrataha. Tagamste pirityabhigachanti yekecha atmahano janaha. The word written there is, they are committers of suicide. They have destroyed themselves. Why? Because this human life, I could have realized the imperishable Atma. I am denying that only and falling more and more lower by resorting only to karma and saying only I believe in what I see. Materialist doesn't believe even in mind. If you read Charvak philosophy, it doesn't believe even in mind, doesn't believe even in space. Because space is not visible to the senses. And one lives etam drishtim avashtabhya with this mindset. See, somebody who is a genuine questioner, ki is there a God, is a different, that is not being referred to here. An agnostic who is doubting, who is not sure, an atheist who is confirmed, there is no God, but is still searching. They are not referred to here. Here are people who are using this understanding to live an indulgent life, immoral life. Again, I'm saying it's not that everybody who is a non-believer will lead an immoral life. No, that's not the conclusion. Some of the greatest saints in the at one stage in their life they were non-believers. Then they transformed. So that we are not referring to that. One should not draw a wrong conclusion. Here we are referring to the mindset where sometimes they know that there is a higher truth, but they don't want to accept and they will deny. Sometimes they will not think about it and they just live an immoral life with this clarity, with this thinking that there is no God because they have not thought through properly. Simple cause and effect logic they don't understand, and then brainwashed by either their own wrong notions or so-called science or so-called modern thinking, and so many influences are there. One has gone astray. So under that influence, etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanah, they have destroyed themselves, squandered away a great opportunity. Alpa buddhaya, they are of petty intellect. They may think that they are of great intellect. That is the delusion. They think we are modern, progressive. They may look down upon others. 25th and 26th, or 2026, we are in the 21st century and look at these people. Still they believe in God. Still they are doing idol worship. So they look down upon others. But the fact is, Alpa Buddhaya, Bhagavan is saying that. They have small intellect because they are not using the buddhi to think properly. Then Prabhavanti Ugra Karmana, and they are also doing very aggressive actions. Why? Because what is the power? What is the main purpose? Get powerful, become wealthy, enjoy maximum. For that, do cutthroat competition, destroy people also, hurt them also, be selfish also. Doesn't matter. Have relationship with so many people. No problem. Why? Karma is a maximum. So, Ugra Karmana, they will do even fierce deeds. Some, if you read the commentaries, some of the masters have given commentaries that they do Ugra Karma, meaning they may even go to the extent of looting, plundering, murdering, killing also. Anyone, anything comes in between them and the fulfillment of their karma, they will destroy them. So, if you look at this Ravan, again, is example of that only. What a lusty man he was. How many women he has misbehaved with, and still people say he was a great Jnani. The exact description of Ravan will fit here. Nashtatmana alpa buddhaya. He is a petty intellect. No, he has studied Veda, or he may have studied Veda. So what? Many doctors know the harmful effects of smoking and drinking. They have become doctors, medicine. They are telling people also many things. Still, they are smoking and drinking happily and destroying their life also. One can't say just because one has studied something, one is very wise. Alpa buddhi. Did he not do Ugra karma? What kind of a. He snatched away the Lanka from his own cousin brother Kuber, misbehaved with Kuber's son's fiancée, raped her. How many women he has misbehaved with? Tried to lift the whole Kailas mountain and bring it in spite of Shivji not giving him permission. He had bad eyes even on Mother Parvati. They all Ugra Karma. Like that, there are so many examples of people who, what did Hiranyakashipu do? Ugra Karma, how much he killed, attempted to kill Prahlad, how many temples he destroyed and yajnas and yagas and all that. So many invaders who came to our country, destroyed so many things. What is that? Ugra Karma only. For what? Some of them because of the ideological superiority, what they think. They all ego, that will come for ahead also. And some because they want to take that wealth from here and go and then enjoy. Maximum, what is the main purpose? Just khao, piyo, mauj karo, here and sometimes hereafter. Nothing more than that. In Vedanta and in the Vedic scripture, they are called Alpa Buddhi. whose only focus is on money, power, and enjoyment. Even that animal will do that. Just that it doesn't have economic sense in that way. But otherwise, it is also running behind food, enjoyment, reproduction, sleep. What more than that? Ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha. This is samana for human and animal. What is the distinguishing factor? Dharma eva. Dharma alone is a distinguishing factor between humans and animal. Now that dharma only is gone. Asatyam apratishtham jagadahuranishwaram. With that thought process, what will be the ultimate thing one will look forward to? If there is no morality, no values, no God, no higher purpose in life, everything is anyway perishable. What will one say? To make the best of it by just eat, drink, and be merry. So Bhagavan says, Nashta Atmanaha Prabhavanti Ugra Karmanaha. They do fierce deeds also and they have no regret. See, even a person like Ratnakar, he was born to the Prachetas and then he fell in bad company, in the company of thieves, and there was a drought, and he became a dacoit. Luckily, he got satsang of Naradji and he transformed. If you look at Ajamil, the story of Ajamil in Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also a Brahmana who is doing all daily rituals, duties, and very, studied the Veda and all that. In a forest, once he saw a couple mating, and he was filled with lust. To what level? He sent out his own parents, divorced his own wife, went to some prostitute, brought her home, got married, had children with her, dropped all rites, rituals, everything, became so anti. Why? Karma has overpowered him. I am saying that even such people who were doing such things which are spiritual, when their clarity is not there and the karma takes over, then they fall. Then what to talk about anybody else who doesn't even have any samskara? And again, it's not that who doesn't have samskara, all will be bad. This is one example, this is the one description that is being given here. That these are possibilities, this will happen, so one should become alert. That this thought process is a dangerous thought process. And to destroy a culture which is a spiritual culture, if you bring in these thoughts, it's enough that the whole spiritual culture will be destroyed if the people are not alert and if they don't understand. Because to convince somebody of the existence of the divine and the need to follow dharma, etc., is not as easy as what is visible. To just eat, drink, and be merry. To follow values is hard, to break is very easy. So, when Bhagavan is saying here that Prabhavanti Ugra Karmanaha Kshayaya Jagato Hitaha, and they engage in actions which will be destructive to the world, see that. They behave as though they are enemies of the world. Are we not seeing that happening? How much war and violence and destruction and environmental pollution and all kinds of things that we are doing is all because of karma. Greed, lust, wanting to enjoy more. So, when Bhagavan is giving these descriptions, it is a warning actually. That our own mind, our own ego takes us for a ride like this. So he says, become alert. Now see, Gurudev has given one thing again here. Um, in the third paragraph, if you see, once an individual refuses to recognize the divine presence of truth, embracing an underlying life, he will function in life as a self-centered, selfish entity, endlessly striving to eke out his own personal satisfaction from the material world. Then Bhagavan, then he goes on to say ahead, next paragraph. If a materialist does not want to believe in the eternal reality, and if others have no belief in some permanent truth, why not allow equal freedom to both the believer and the non-believer? That's the question that people ask. That whatever anybody wants to believe, let them believe, and give them equal freedom to do what they want. So he says this will be a natural question that will arise in any man of ordinary intellect if he be truly democratic and tolerant in his point of view. Let each one have their own thought process. Now, what is wrong in that? So Bhagavan says, Gurudev says that anticipating such a doubt in a sincere student, Krishna says in his second line of the stanza that when an individual loses his faith in the higher reality, he becomes licentious at all levels of his expression. Because there is no fear and there is no even reverence for the divine. Love and reverence or fear, either ways, when one understands, one will be able to put aside one's ego. But if both are gone, then this is what will happen. So he says, prompted by his selfish urges to seek and discover his fulfillment in life, he would perhaps ultimately bring about irrecoverable disasters to his era. Historically, the world today is going through the same predicament as declared and anticipated by the Gita. See that. If you trace, so many of the impurities, so many of the sorrows have come because of this only. Strong ego and selfishness. So more of this we will continue in our next class. For today I will stop here. We thank all our Yajmans for the whole series, the Yajmans, the Mukhya Yajmans for the whole series, the Yajmans for all the Aartis, the Dainik Yajman for today and the Aarti Yajman for today. May Bhagwan's grace bless us with the Vivek for doing Pravritti and Nivritti Vivek, and to develop the divine values, to drop the demonic qualities, to anchor in Shraddha in Bhagwan, and to live a dharmic way of life. Om Tat Sat, Jai Shri Krishna. So we will do the Aarti, and if any questions are there, you can use the raise hand symbol and then we will take up.
Om Jai Bhagavad Gita. प्रकाशिनी कामासक्ति हरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकाशिनी विद्या ब्रह्म परा ओम जय भगवद्गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनी निर्मल मलहारिणी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय भगवद्गीते राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा भव भय हारिणी तारिणी सुरभावविनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवती ते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवती ते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पर प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवती ते ॐ जय भगवती ते मैया जय भगवती ते हरिया कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनी ते ॐ जय भगवती ते ॐ जय भगवती ते ॐ जय भगवती ते बोलिए गीता मैया की जय
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। यस।
Hari Om Swamiji. Thank you for the beautiful class today. I was just listening about the truthfulness, like you just said. I'm put into a very difficult situation. Like, I'm a teacher, and unless and until I speak a lie, like if I say that my husband is sick or my son is sick, then only my principal gives me leave. And I know that I'm saying a lie, and I feel very bad about it, but I don't know what to do, how to come out of this situation, because she's very nasty. She doesn't give me leave. So what to do? And also another situation is like I have 2 to 3 mates at home. So one comes and asks me how much am I giving to the other one. So I don't want this comparison. So I say I'm giving less, because the other one is getting less. So I know I am saying a lie. Okay, and I feel very bad about it, but I don't know what to do now, how to come out of this situation. And she doesn't give leave, and I suffer.
Ideally, you have all the right to leave in terms of whatever the yearly certain number of leaves and all that, no? Or they
Yeah.
won't follow those rules?
No, we are just, because I'm in the first year after retirement. Like I've taken up another job after my retirement. So in this school, the first year only six leave they gave. So 6 is not enough, Swamiji, for the whole year.
Correct.
So I need, and every time, she will pinpoint only me that I'm taking too many leaves, whereas I'm not taking the whole year. I've just taken not even 12. So she doesn't want me to take leave, and some or the other way she wants to say no. So I have to every time say my husband is sick, and I feel very, very bad about it. So because when I want to follow dharma, but I know that I'm doing this. So how to come out of this? Like I told you, another example of maid also. Like she'll come, how much am I giving to the cook? I tell her 2,000 because she's getting 2,000. If I tell her 3,000, then she'll start comparing. So I'm telling lie.
Maid example, one can always say that I don't have to disclose. Each one gets according to what they deserve, or whatever you want to politely say. You don't have to disclose it at all. It's not anything that you are obliged to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell lie also there. You can say I'm giving what she deserves and what according to her work. Each one I give as per their work, what they are doing. As far as the principle there is concerned, solution wise, if one values the truth, one will say very clearly I need a leave, and if she is being nasty, one has to ignore it. And if they say then you have to quit, or if they cut a salary, so be it, rather than telling the untruth. And if the option is there to choose some other work, one can say tata goodbye and move to some other work.
There is no option, Swamiji. I'm 61. Who will give me job? Like they are doing a favor by keeping me, So, and I don't want to quit because I don't want to sit at home. I've given 38 years of my life to teaching profession. So,
There are today other options of doing by oneself, tuitions or teaching by oneself. If there are such possibilities, then one can explore rather than trying to tell, I mean, rather than telling lies and feeling bad about it when it is not even actually. So I don't want to say ki it is white lie, so it is okay, because then that's how the mind slowly justifies many things. And nor should it be that what she is doing is right. Both are not options actually. Um, that's why it is, if one has to take a leave, one can tell the truthful reason and just take a leave, and whatever is the nasty behavior, one deals with it. In the mind, one is not affected. One has to ignore it, or one has to find one's way out, do some other alternative. If one values the truth and if one wants to live by
I
that, where the
value
mind.
Swamiji, but when
Exactly.
if I say truth, she doesn't give leave.
But you don't have to take her permission. You take a leave and then say, this is the reason I couldn't come. Sorry, I had my work to do or whatever else. If she is being nasty, she is being nasty. What can she do maximum? Not give you the job. That's all. That beyond that, nothing much she can do. She can remove you from the job. If there is a way by which one can be very clear ki if this is not happening, I can start on my own. I have 38 years of experience. If I teach today, there will be students who will come and who will learn. And I can do whatever with that. If it helps me in that way, I can start. One can even do simultaneously some things and slowly one can switch over. One doesn't have to suddenly leave.
Yeah.
Those possibilities are there, but one doesn't have to put up, because the nasty behavior one is putting up, that itself is wrong. Even if one tells lies, it is a nasty behavior is not going to stop, no?
Yes.
That itself is one
Yeah.
thing that will keep on paining.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hari Om Swamiji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Swamiji, we have evolved like from, children, teenagers to youth to mid-age and now probably, senior citizen. So what would have happened also, I mean, what has happened is that when we were younger and all, we would have got some intense thoughts about certain things, which now when you reflect, even the thoughts were wrong. They can be in any of the categories, whether it's Kama, Krodha, Lobha, anything, but they were intense. Not that you did something wrong then, but what has happened is because of that intensity of thinking, they sometimes still linger on. And I find sometimes I'm in like a quiet state, contemplating or doing something like that. They linger at the back. Not that I've ever done anything wrong, but these thoughts are there. So, I mean, and I know they are probably, you know, asuric in nature, but I'm not able to completely eliminate it. They've reduced substantially and the intensity is less, but they've just not gone. So I don't know if it was very intense when I was young or what I overthought because of my circumstances, but how do I think about the situation and work on it?
So one has to leave it in time as it has become weaker. One has to keep holding on to the contemplative thoughts, even if they are there, ignore them. If one wants to offer them at feet of Bhagwan, saying, Bhagwan, I've offered it to you, do that kind of a visualization and offer. So, or be a Sakshi and say, okay, this is gone. I am just a witness. This comes, it goes. Thought is like that, it is temporary.
Mm.
If I just have the ability to withstand it, it will go. That's what Bhagwan says in the Gita. Agama apaina anitya tan titikshasva. They come, they go, they are momentary. Just pair them, they'll pass. And if they are not
Okay.
that intense today, then it will become more easier to just stand apart and watch, or surrender them to Bhagwan, saying, Bhagwan, you take them away. Every time they rise,
Yeah.
don't keep any count कि पहले
Yeah.
होता था अभी इतना हो रहा है ऐसा. No, don't need of any
Yeah.
analysis. That you leave it to Bhagwan. If it arises, offer it to Bhagwan. Dropped, gone.
Yeah.
Again come back to contemplation. Again after some time if it arises, offer it. No judgment, no calculation, no analysis ki why is this happening, what is the reason. As long as you are not feeding
Yeah.
in your
So
thought process at
yeah.
that time or through the actions in the day, if you are not feeding those thoughts, then don't bother at
Yeah.
all. Just offer it to Bhagwan.
So I don't feed them, but one of the thing I found that definitely helped me was journaling. So I write like a journal to God every day. In
Right,
that I did offer this. So I found the intensity very, very less,
right.
especially from the time I've done it and it's on a regular basis. But is that contemplation? It's somewhere I know it's at the back of my mind and I keep trying hard to eliminate it, but it's like
Don't
again you
try.
have thought of it.
See, exactly. The answer is in what you said only. In psychology also they'll say that whatever you resist, you strengthen.
Okay.
Whatever you fight, you validate it.
Okay.
In thought process, I'm saying
Yeah.
that
True.
the very fact I am paying that attention to it and fighting it, it will remain. Which is why I have
Okay.
to
Yeah.
be a witness and I let it pass. Or what you are doing,
Okay.
I have to write as a journal and keep offering it. As you said, intensity has decreased. Now it will eventually it will just go because they are very
So,
finite.
okay. I'll do that. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
You
While explaining the meaning of the word Partha in first chapter, Swamiji, if I remember correctly, you had told Pa Artha Yasya Saha, but I didn't understand the meaning of it, Swamiji.
Pa
Can
means,
you kindly explain again?
yeah, pa means pati. The root pa in that context means pati. Pati means to protect. Bhagwan is
Um,
the true protector, and one who desires that true protector, Bhagwan, is Partha because he chose the Lord instead of his Akshavini army. And that is the true protection. When we surrender to Bhagwan, when we, serve Bhagwan, when we choose Bhagwan exclusively, then he is a true protector. Arjun had lesser army, but still he chose Bhagwan who will not lift a weapon and not his one Akshavini army. So that's why he's called Partha, one who chose Bhagwan and not his power or his Maya. That's the meaning.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om. Thank you everyone.